That's a little hot. That light's a little hot. Hold on. Let me make sure. Is my audio? Nope. There we go. There you go, governor. How are you, governor? Yeah, that light is hot. Hot light. Hot fucking light. Hot fucking light in the house. What's up? Okay, that's my full name there. Don't think we really need that. How do I change that? It's got to be easier to change that, please. Doxed myself. Here, can I do this? There we go. Okay, let's see if that fixes that. There we go. Okay. Hey, what do you say? It is the Lunatic Lounge, late night Lunatic Lounge show with your boy Stevie the fuck Lew. How do we do? How do we do? What are you up to? Saw a lot of you on MLC today. Hello, Cleo. Checking in. Good evening. Roy Cohn, Esquire, saying, yo, what up, kid? Yeah, I don't want to get too into it, but Roy Cohn and I, we talk sometimes, and he reached out to me moments ago, and he said, Stevie, you're going up against Shmuel talk right now. And you know what I said? I said, Roy. Oh, what the fuck! I just messed something up here. I said, Roy, you know what? I'm going up against Shmuel because I got a big announcement, a really big fucking announcement, and that's why this is a Brest stream right now. This isn't a real show. This isn't one of my normal shows. This isn't going to be up on Patreon later. But it's a Brest stream because it's really a test stream. But I got into a little heat. I got into a little hot water, if you will, with a certain Brian Landon. Brian Landon reached out to me after I had done a test stream recently, and he kind of got up on me. He kind of like took his arm and put it around my neck. He pulled me in, and he was like, "Stevie, you fucking piece of shit. I do the test streams around here." So that's kind of Brian's thing. He will do that to creators. He will put you in a headlock and assert his dominance. So I'm like, all right, Brian, test stream is all yours. Lunatics are a peaceful bunch here. We're just going to do the Brest stream. Because, no offense, everybody loves a good breast. See, look. Ice Dancer wants to know. She wants me to get some nice tits. Thank you, Ice. Ice, I'm going to speak to you personally and privately, but not privately. This is public, technically, but I want to speak directly to you if you're watching and listening, or both, or one or the other. If you're number one-ing or two-ing this right now. That's not what one or two means. I got confused. I thought one was listening and two was watching. But I think other people would say that doing a number one or a two is something different. But you got me there, I guess. But yeah, Ice, I had an idea. You're a part of this little chat that we got going on the side, group chat. I'll be clear about that. And there's a new show that is in the works with yours truly. And I was thinking that you could be a potential good co-host for that show. What do you say? What do you say we get you in? You become a guy full time. Stevie Lew's got your back. I'll guide you through all this Very friendly Stevie Lew here. Could work with Ice Dancer, and we can work on this. Let's just call it the Fuck Puppet Show. The Fuck Puppet Show. It's got a different name, but we'll just call it code name Fuck Puppet. So get at me. We'll talk about that. But that's not the big announcement. There's a lot going on in this Luniverse, if you will. By the way, throw the L's on your forehead, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you didn't have the notification settings going, you wouldn't know that I was live at 9:30 on a Thursday. Here we are. I'm a little tuned up for 9:30 on a Thursday. Just pure adrenaline right now because I'm fucking excited about a huge announcement. I just worked for like an hour straight on this, trying to figure out my ass from my elbow. Look at this, my man. CKKK. Also, I would like you to be my co-host on a show someday, sir. You are a legend. But oh, look at this. Ice is in. Great. We'll talk off air. I got a big show in the works with Chad Zumach, and that's not even what this is about right now. That's a huge announcement that I made today on MLC. That I will be teaming up with Chad Zumach to do a Hollywood podcast stream. We're looking at like once a month right now, but that's not the big news. The big fucking news, which seriously, I'm like buzzing right now over this, is that Stevie Lew, your man with the plan, has officially joined Dabble Tips. Can I do this? Hold on here. Throw them up big time L. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to www.com. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. You go to dabbletips.com/Lew. Lew. That's all you got to do. Let me put this up, actually. Shit. Give me a second here, everybody. I'm working overtime on this, and like honestly, I gotta like do a whole like get on my knees and start. Flimsy Greenberg, my man. Thank you for doing this and basically changing my life. Flimsy Greenberg is changing lives out there, one by one, touching people, touching all sorts of stuff. But yeah, you go to dabbletip.com/Lew, and that will take you. Okay. Come on, man. This fucking goddamn thing. Evie Muggs, you are a piece of shit. Dabbletip.com/Lew. There you go. It's all happening. Let's get this going here. Dude, honestly, I want to go fucking punch this Evie Muggs thing in its mouth. You're going to get it, Evie Muggs, eventually. But okay, whatever. We're doing it. But yeah, okay. So you're going to go to dabbletip.com/Lew, and I am going to show you how this works here. Look, we got the first one ever was mine. I did send this out. Yeah, there we go. We get the sample ticker. No, that's not what. You son of a bitch. Oh, this is like I said, a work in progress. There we go. this is going to be just a game changer. Thank you, Flimsy, like for doing this, buddy. Like this is incredible. Flimsy Greenberg is the anti-Melton. I mean, this fucking guy literally is just doing this out of the goodness of his heart, and I think a small 5%, which is like, talk about generosity when you hear about what these other fucking sick freaks are doing with their other platform. Something that I will say I refused to join. From day one, I said to myself and anyone who wanted to listen that I will never do any sort of business with Patrick Melton. And, you know, this is kind of funny. Flimsy Greenberg was there at Atlantic City in the back smoking area by the poker rooms outside with Patrick, myself, and him. That was it. It was us three outside during the Atlantic City trip, the last one that I was at, the one where we did the show in the hotel room, where I had a pretty serious disagreement with Patrick Melton over his platform and how he and Moody had handled the whole Pat Dixon and Felicia Stripe situation where zip codes were given out and people were able to start looking into how anonymous tips, where they were sent from. Pat Dixon was given direct instructions on how to look into how anonymous tips, where they were sent from, which I said to him, I was like, hey man, I don't know how to lay this on deal lightly here, but that was a fuck up on your behalf. And that's going to look bad for you in the future. And he tried to laugh in my face and act like, oh, you don't know what I'm talking about. You're not going to say that all you want. He just went off like nuts. Like Flimsy even it got uncomfortable because, you know, this is the kind of guy that we all know Patrick Melton to be. You can't set him straight, even though, you know, you've got evidence and proof. He'll fight and bitch and moan and create all these little side mini worlds for himself to deny and fucking we're getting too much into the weeds here, but Flimsy was there. I would love to talk to him someday about that because that's something that never really was talked about much after AC with all the different fallings out that happened, you know. That was something that kind of flew under the radar. But okay, let's do this. This was the first tip to dabbletip.com/Lou. You're told to send a tip, you know, to yourself. So let's see if this works. Okay, I got to pull this up. There we go. Look at that. And with that, folks, the first dabble tip to Stevie Lew Studios, Universal Studios, Stevie Lew Hollywood, is in the books. And Stevie Lew says, poopy, cocky, piss, shit. I mean, it speaks for itself, really. I figured I'd had to think of something that was just perfect, and I think we nailed it with this one. Poopy, cocky, piss, shit. Also wanted to see how far I could take it. I did I'm not, now this is not an open invitation. Listen to what I'm saying, is that I did put the lowest moderation possible on these things. So you're going to be able to say more or less anything you want, is what my understanding is. So this is like tame compared to what I'm hoping we get our hands onto. Just let's try to keep it within reason. Let's not get personal with anybody in the chat or whatever. But that's that. But even cooler is that we have our first non-Stevie Lew sent dabble tip as well. So without further ado, let's pull this up. clear that off first, I guess.
Stevie, what to call it? I'm not a pedo. I'm a pederast.
Holy shit. That I had no idea. I didn't realize this was a fucking voice tip. Yes, we have voice tips as well. And we will absolutely replay that because that caught me by surprise. I've never had a voice tip before. As a matter of fact, I've always been fairly anti-voice tip. But I will say we might be onto something here because let's see what Roy Cohn Esquire. Thank you very much for uh, and I'm not. All right. Did that just? I really hope that didn't. Hmm. Okay. Well, I may have just. We'll take this down. We'll take this down right away. But okay, we're working on some stuff here. We're working on some stuff here. I'm just we're this is a work in progress. Moving on. Let's keep it going, and maybe I won't play things until we figure out that whole aspect of it. And yeah. All right. Anyway, we're on super. We're on. Fuck. Now I'm all frazzled. Jesus Christ. Let's go to the free chat. And I mean, do I also get super? Do I also get super chats also? This is fucking confusing. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much. I got really scared there for a second. As a matter of fact, I'm like completely shook right now, and maybe I'll do some more private testing of this before we go live. Apparently, we're working out some kinks in the back end, and I think everything's all right. But let's check in with my people here because I do not want to forget the old school legends in the free chat. Clearwater Chad watches current movies. Stevie Lew watches 80s movies. That's not wrong. Not wrong. Okay. Yeah, cool. That's what I was worried about is that, in the queue, I see people's first names and last names. Obviously, that's safe with me. And then I would much rather they were able to put in, like, maybe their username, their MLC chat room name. Like I said, I happen to know Roy Cohen's name, and I was worried that that was displayed out there. Again, I'm glad to just be working the kinks out here, and that isn't even a kink. That was just me freaking out about nothing. So thank you very much again. I don't know if Flimsy, if you caught the beginning there, I was literally offering, I think, some sort of services to you, which that just came out of the blue. It just came out of the blue. Get what I mean. But yes, there he is, Brian Landon, watching, checking in from home 15 minutes ago. That must have been we were throwing some fun times at you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're working on this. This is great. What's the announcement, you big HMO? Oh, here we go. See now, look, this is great. I'm gonna have to figure out how to just multitask now because check this out. My man TSN Teddy checking in with the 5. Thanks. 5-4 Lou. Thank you. Didn't forget to do that thing. Don't you think you're kind of lowering yourself to work with Chad? I feel like co-hosting on BYB would be better. Chad can only bring you down. I mean, Teddy, I'm not going to say that you're wrong, even with that subtle BYB dig. I also picked up on that. I want to just let you know that I get it. That's a sore subject. As a matter of fact, I wanted to say this. that, and I think I've said it before, I'm willing to clear the air with Quad and try to get back to some sort of. I know he's claimed that he never wants to have any, dealings with me again, which that's totally fine with me. But I think if he were able to agree to some things, I would absolutely also agree to some things, and maybe we could have a meeting of the minds. I'm not saying I would ever fucking want to really work with that guy in any capacity after some of the things that he's done, but again, that's not here. That's neither here nor there. And anybody who's been watching that show for a long time knows, and I don't have to even say this, but I will. The Stevie Lew era of the BYB show was the best era of the BYB show. Just like the Stevie Lew era of the Eastside Dave show was by far the best era of the Eastside Dave show. Not saying that the other eras of the BYB or Eastside Dave weren't good per se, but when I was involved with both of those two programs, the shit that was happening, the like content that was being made naturally with my touch was by far some of the greatest shit that is still spoken about to this day. There are things that were done on the Eastside Dave show that I was involved with that are still brought up to this day. Almost 10 fucking years later. We're coming up on 10 fucking years from when some of that crazy shit went down. So, I mean, hate all you want. The real lunatics who have been around that long are hearing this and they're like, oh, shit, yeah, he's right. Holy fuck, you know what? He's right. The haters are going to hate. You got your roachies, you got your fucking roachies. But the real Lews know. So, TSN, Teddy, you do bring up a good point. Am I lowering myself to work with Chad? I mean, right now, Chad is a bigger planet in this universe. So I know maybe like morally, it's an objectionable move to work with someone like Chad with what people think of Chad and the public opinion. If this was a court of public opinion, then you'd be absolutely right. But I kind of share the same outlook on this as the great presidential candidate Joey C does. I say to myself, Chad hasn't really done too much to me personally. And a lot of the stuff you hear about him is hearsay by unreliable, bad actors. So at some point, it's like, what's fact? What's fiction? What's up? What's down? When I've been in person hanging out with Chad behind the scenes, he's been fine, and I think a lot of people out there haven't had that interaction with him, and that changes things. Now, do I agree with him going at it back and forth with Lady KB? Absolutely not. I would never be like, okay, I'm supportive of that, Chad. I also have always enjoyed my interactions in person with Lady KB. She's, comes and is very supportive to show up and get involved with the live events, and she's a very pleasant person, very nice lady. She's a nice lady. But her and Chad are in this thing, and I tried and I'm not preaching to Chad. I'm not conversing with Chad about stuff, but I was like, hey man, just as a point of note here, you're gonna look bad fighting with any lady. It's just from an optic level, no matter what your reasoning is, no matter what her actions are, you got to figure out a way to change this course of direction. And I even pointed out my own mistakes with Keanu Thompson, where I started to kind of go after Keanu for some time, back and forth over some bullshit. And I just like had a coming to Jesus moment at one point where I said, all right, just back the fuck away from this situation because I started to see the backlash come at me a lot harder. I'm a person who's used to getting backlash in this world, but I started to see like just a certain type of uh, negativity coming towards me because of what I had been doing with interacting, and I was just like breaking her balls. We heard it, didn't see it, so you won, you didn't two. Uh, check your DMs. Yeah, we're trying to figure it all out here, man. Okay, so the name that comes up is whatever the tipper publicly uses on Twitter or Google, whatever they are signed in the tip page. They can also use anonymous. Okay. Thank you, brother. Yeah, so just know that, folks. You can fuck around with that on your end. Camera is good. Yeah, bud. Thank you very much. That was absolutely some of your doing, and the great Roy Cohen. Guys, you've been very supportive over the past several years now. Sorcerer and Roy Cohen Jr., my boys. I prefer milkweed. I get it. I get it. And it's ironic. There is a cannabis company in New York State called Milkweed, and they are one of the better ones. It's not the one that I work for, but I've been always hearing great things about the Milkweed guys. I met them at an event once. They showed me some of their shit, and it was solid. But you got me thinking it might be that time, Source. So, Rossdog Broken Spirit says the new Toxic Avenger sucked, which I think we've already had this argument, so I don't want to rehash it. I disagree, bud. Like, I was low expectations going into that film, and I left happy. I mean, it wasn't a tremendous, great film, but I gave it at least a 3.5, maybe even a low 4 out of 5. I really liked it. It was, I thought, good homage to a lot of the spirit of Trauma. There were enough little actual nods to Trauma, and Macon Blair, I think, is a fresh voice on the scene, and his new movie coming out this summer looks like it's going to be a great flick. It's called something insane. What's this new movie called? Motherfucker. It's called like Motherfucker or something like that. It's called Idiots, but originally it was supposed to have a different name. Starring O'Shea Jackson, Dave Franco, Peter Dinklage. It's out soon, I think. It's already premiered at Sundance. I've heard great things about it, and I'm down with that shit. But that's the kind of talk we're going to have on movie. Okay, the tip overlay wasn't showing up on your screen. Okay. Motherfucker. Flimsy's going to help me out with this. It's weird because I thought I saw it on my side. But yeah, again, we can keep fucking with this. On this end. Look at that. Holy shit. JD and the straight shot. My man just gifted 5 Realist Stevie Lew memberships. Thanks for the 5 memberships. Oh, man. 5 memberships for you. Thank you. Wow. Um, Thank you, brother. That's very nice. Let's see if we can see who got those. Who got them shits? But yeah, where was I? Macon Blair, the new movie's coming out with the idiots looks really good. Um, and this is all going to be stuff that we should really save for the Chad show, the Chad and Lou. Jesus Christ, the thumbnail. It's great when you pull up YouTube right now. Like it just pulls a random screenshot, and I'm like smoking the bong. That's fucking great. You could just see me like bent over, bald head showing, smoking the bong. Uh, okay, yeah, we'll figure that out. Thank you, Flimsy. Flimsy is a fucking good man. Okay, Papa's Puzzle Factory. Ross Dog's Broken Spirit. The Sorcerer Gypsy got gifted a membership? Or is that the fake one? Maybe that's the fake one. Piggy Bones, excuse me, and Bedabbler got a fucking free membership. You gotta be kidding me with this shit. Is this fucking. I mean, thank you. Please don't make this sound like I'm upset about these, but Bedabbler got one? Something's fucked up here. All right. Oh, I could see that in EV Mugs. Couldn't see that in StreamYard. Okay. There's something here. We are measuring cankles at Hackamania 4. You know, the great Sam Bibbley brought up a point today in our chat, in our side chat, that like eventually the Hackamania is just going to be everyone shows up with the puppet, with their puppet, you know, because the way this is all evolving is that eventually it's just going to be an all puppet universe. The Devilverse will eventually just be all puppets. It'll be like Kevin Brennan, Bob Levy, Shuley will be dead and gone, and then just puppets. And like if you don't show up with a puppet at Hackamania 7, you won't be allowed in. So if you don't have a puppet, like most of the people have started to get into, you should get one. Um, this could kind of become fun when you like work through it. You know, like we could get Quadfather could have a little fucking wheelchair puppet. I mean, I haven't seen one of those ever. There might have been one on Sesame Street. They might have did one of those eventually. But Shakespeare's shitstorm was great. Bobby Hutch, my man. Bobby, we want to get you on MLC, brother. I think it might not be the right time for all that, but eventually someday we'd love for you to come on and tell your side of the story, if you know what I mean. But yes, Shakespeare's Shitstorm is actually a decent movie. It has aged pretty well. Another thing that's going to be coming up on like a 10-year anniversary, not too, it's closer to the 10-year anniversary than it is the 50-year anniversary. And that was a film that I had the extreme pleasure of working on, having a little cameo in and doing a bunch of special effects work with the late, great Doug Sack. Uh, got that Zach Amico, the great Zach Amico, got me that job, and I know Bobby and Zach are buddies, and yeah, got to meet the whole Trauma team. Lloyd Kaufman turned into years of work and connections with the Trauma Squad. As a matter of fact, I ended up doing a little impromptu roast of Lloyd Kaufman at Steeler Fest 2020 666 last month at the Pine Box Rock Shop in Bushwick, New York, which was just the time of my life. I'm pretty sure we'll have video of that out eventually. Speaking of video out eventually, I posted something on my YouTube today that I believe is members only. I'm making sure I got that all locked down. Not 100% if it's members only or not, but pretty sure that's members only. Took a little bike ride out there today, And if you are a member, please go check that out. If you're not a member, it's like $2.99, $2.99 to jump in on this. I am going to start doing more members only stuff to make it worth your while. It's not just a support thing, which is nice. Thank you. Going to make it an exclusive thing now. I have stuff previously recorded that I've never released that I can do. We can maybe do some off-hour streams, members only as well. But started off with this little bike ride. It was nuts. I was riding with one arm on the handlebars and the camera up today with no helmet, which was stupid. So I will work on getting a bike clamp sort of thing for my gimbal and a helmet. I have a helmet. I just felt like riding the bike today in the whole forest fire, post-apocalyptic looking New York City. So take a look at that if you're, again, a member. And if you're not, it's worth checking it out. Megan checking in saying, my least favorite Wes Anderson movie was The French Connection. That's bait. But yeah, you'll be picking something out of your toes in Poughkeepsie. Yeah, that's the one thing about The French Connection is the opening scene. That didn't age too well. The rest of the movie's okay, but that opening scene there, they say some words and there's a little bit of dialogue that you're not used to anymore. I guess that was more regular back then, but nowadays we've evolved as a society, as I understand. But I'd love to talk Dabbleverse. I just don't want to talk about the shithead. But I know I'll always be haunted by that idiot. You know, honestly, Bob, I hear you, man. I've had some pretty interesting negative interactions with the guy in just the past year that have rubbed me the wrong way. I can't imagine what went down with your situation. One thing I will say is that I will fight that motherfucker in a boxing ring, any day. Literally any time, any day. We could do it, no cameras. We could do it on the stream. You don't have to give me really any sort of heads up. We could just do it. I mean, it would be nice to give me a little bit of time to get a little bit of shape into my boxing game, but I've said this once and I'll say it again. Luis J. Gomez is a pussy, and he couldn't box against me. He could beat up some of these other littler comedians or guys that have zero experience, but a true athlete, a guy with my size and my reach, he would not be able to handle it. And I would absolutely, and I get it. He is a pussy. He wouldn't. And I've said this multiple times before, and he tries to play all this bullshit excuse after bullshit excuse when it comes to it. And these aren't like I said, this is only boxing ring shit. He boxes, I box. Why not challenge yourself a little bit, Lewis? Let's do it. Yeah, he's got that Rogan bump, and once you get the Rogan bump, it's I guess it's over. The clout went to his head. Shout out to the doctor, Mega G. Shout out to all the people that are checking in. This is like the anti-Shmuel Buckman programming. I'm at the point now where some of these nights, the shit that gets put on this fucking Dabbleverse stream world is so piss poor and bad that I get frustrated, and I'm like, fuck. Well, might have to just start jumping on and doing my own thing, rapping with you folks. This is going to be, we're work in progress. This is going to be something we'll be working on. But I'm fucking really super psyched to know that I'm in here. Um, let's try this one more time and see what happens. Let me just make sure. Right? Okay, so I'm on the layers. Ah, there we go. I think I fucked this up. All right, let's try this one more time. Flimzo. That comes up, right? First of all, let's take. See, this is what I got to do. I got to take this down. And then. Okay, so is that it? You got to just jump. You might have to jump. So, right? You guys see that? Flims or chat or one of my other homies. Let me know if you see that tip overlay on showing on your screen. Because I can't look at the. I can look at the comments in the YouTube chat. Can you guys see that? You can't see that. Hmm. Okay. I'm fucking. You heard the Buckman. Okay. But that's wild that I can, like. That's crazy. I see it. It's like, I feel like I'm tripping. Whatever. Again, this was a test stream. All right, we'll do the replay.
Stevie, what to call it? I'm not a pedo. I'm a pederast.
Okay, well, it's probably good that you can't see it because that one does have your government name on there. And then if I approve this.
Stevie, what to call it? I'm not a pedo. I'm a pederast.
Hmm. 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 Okay. This will be cool. We'll play this out. Oh, look at this, my man. Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me breathing? Is it loud? Stevie, my man, Jim Sharkey, you are on my short list of co-hosts for my new show too. I want to get the Shark Man in here. Stevie, how many fish shows you getting at MSG next week? Sharkman, honestly, could be zero. I hate to say it. It could be zero, even though you see the poster in the background there. Longtime fish head, seen about like 76 shows, somewhere under 80 since 2003. So 23 years of seeing fish shows. I've had quite my share. I've had quite my share. Most of them at Madison Square Garden, as a matter of fact. Yeah, a couple of things that just don't really jive with me anymore when it comes to fish. Maybe I'll go see one of them. I got a buddy who's just getting into fish in 2026, like last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So it might be fun to take a buddy who's never really seen fish at MSG to an MSG show. So we'll see. I might try to see one with a pal, to be honest. I would be interested in going to Las Vegas to see the Sphere. I will say that. I will be straight up with you. At this point, MSG is kind of like been there, done that. I've burnt countless brain cells inside of that building in my day. So I am fine with maybe checking in on the scene that will pop up for the week and a half that they're in town. That's always fun. You see fucking tie-dye and fucking dreadheads everywhere for a couple days, which is, a unique thing for New York. So, yeah, I probably gave way too much of an answer for that. Let's see what's going on here. That's funny. Sorry about taking a text on air that doesn't have to do with the Devilverse at all. Yeah, that's funny. I got a text from Tommy Jordan and my mutual friend actually just texted me, a guy that I went way back with to high school with. So I had to just stop everything and text my homie back. He sent me a picture of a Team USA soccer jersey and wanted to know if I somehow was the one who mysteriously sent it to him, because we used to be big into soccer back in 2002 during that World Cup. But yeah, fuck. I just lost all of you. If I hadn't had you on the edge of turning this shit off, you're probably there now. No effects. Seen No Effects live in concert twice, maybe three times, at least once. Saw Me First and the Gimme Gimmes also. This was back in like 2000, not 2000 something, like the year 2000, possibly 1999. One of those 2 years. Used to do the Warp Tour. Jesus, look at this guy hitting 100 shows in September. That is impressive, especially if you've been seeing him for a long time. Um, Look at that. If you guys are in the Colorado area, it sounds like the Cheeseheads are going to be at Red Rocks, which, that's another one where I would go to hang out with Roy Cohn to a string cheese show at Red Rocks, and I'd love to see a show at Red Rocks because that's fun. But man, string cheese is just not my thing. It's just not. I've been to multiple string cheese shows, and like every single one I've been to, I like wanted to leave before the show was over. But hung it out. I hung out, and it's not like not trying to be a dick. It's just how it is. Yeah. Jim Sharkey's only been to 30 fish shows, feeling like a rookie. This is great. Big into soccer and fish. You're a unique dude. Yeah. No, that was kind of my thing for a while. Be a little weird. You got me pinned there, my man. Don't even take offense to that. Jim Sharkey. Red Rocks is amazing. I saw Dark Star Orchestra there. Sharkey, yo, Dark Star, yo, Sharky. Talking like Barry Ribs. Dark Star Orchestra is the shit. I, for a long time, thought that the Dark Star Orchestra thing was some hack nonsense. Um, and I saw them 2 summers ago at the great some sort of fucking festival out in Long Island, and was a little fucked up, but loved the hell out of it. I've recently been listening to their like recent show soundboards. I have the Nugs app on my phone, and I've been listening to just random Dark Star Orchestra shows like from their recent tour, and like those guys can fucking play. I like what they do. I mean, I'm a big J-Rad fan, so it's hard to compare those two bands, but those Dark Star dudes, they're very unique. Fucking Rob Baracco, the headband, is a fucking absolute legend in the Grateful Dead scene, in my eyes, at least. And I love the fact that he's still performing and doing his thing. Yeah, at this point, it's just me and Jim Sharkey and Roy Cohn are just talking about hippie shit. So this is probably boring for a lot of you, but okay. This is great. We at least know that we got some shit to work on. Have you checked on Sullivan's lately? That's a great question, Dr. Mega G. I have not. I'll check in the next couple days and just poke my head in, at least to make sure that things are all right. Um, I have a feeling that they're probably like relieved that they didn't have to deal with Gino every day anymore, or Monday through Thursday anymore, because like, you know, it was fun hanging out, drinking with Gino all the time after his show, but like it was fun to a point, and then it would be like a lot of screaming. You know, he would come to the bar with like an old rotary phone that he would just like obnoxiously scream into, and it's like that's funny when you know him, but like if you're just going to a bar for lunch and you just want to have like a normal time, and then that fucking maniac is screaming sometimes the F word, sometimes, you know, he would let an N slip out, and then he's got this phone that he's just pretending to talk on. It's just like it's a lot for a lot of people, you know. You got to go to a Birdman concert. I would love to go see Birdman keep the gat in the bushes or whatever he says there. Keep the guns in the bushes and shit. All right, I think I'm gonna fucking call this one a night. J Rad does fuck. Okay. Yes, I did stop by the dead zone, Mr. Bind. Yeah, I'm gonna go in and see if there's still an outstanding tab for Gino Bisconti. That's actually a pretty good idea. That will be our next live members only stream. Is I'll tape myself, I'll stream myself walking into Sullivan's, trying to see if Gino still has a tab. Yeah, I guess Dr. Mega G, they're probably happy. He would have probably eventually died there. Like that would have been sad. But one day, you know, if he was just drinking that much all the time, eventually he just keeled over. With Stevie out in Cape Cod, I thought I told everybody that I was going out. I went out for there was a memorial thing for a family member, or like my mom's best friend from hometown. I don't know, whatever. Uncle Bill, rest in peace, Uncle Bill. Good guy, hardcore dude from New Jersey that moved out to Cape Cod like 50 years ago, and did all sorts of crazy shit out there on the Cape. Yeah, I'll hit you up, Jim. It'd be fun to have Jim on. And where? Hold on, I missed a comment here. I'm very sorry too that I did that. I actually read this comment to myself, laughed, and then forgot to pull it up, which is pretty fucked up. But I will go back and find it right now. And that's the last thing I will do. Bobby Hutch says, here you go. Were you talking about puppets in here? No, Sam. That I thought about it. I thought about it, but I want to put a little bit more thought into that. But there will be that show happening very soon, and that's why I'm asking Ice Dancer. I'm asking Jim Sharkey because I think they would be good candidates to co-host. I don't think it would be. I think it's solo. You get Solo Lou here. Let's bring some other people into the fold for the Fuck Puppet show. We're calling it Codename Fuck Puppet. It has as you know, since you basically created it, Sam. You know what it's called, but we're gonna call it Codename Fuck Puppet for now. So keep fucking that chicken or puppet, chicken puppet. All right, I'm losing it. Absolutely losing it. And with that, we're gonna call it a night. Yeah, that's a great thing. See, this is the fucking thing. Is like your name is Sharky, and it's like, oh, Sharky the puppet, and it's like, no, it's Jim Sharky. It's just his name. It sounds like a puppet, but it's just his name is Jim Sharky. I'm like, all right, everybody, here's our big guest of the night. Here's Sharky, and then instead of having some felt hand puppet, it's just you. think we're on to something here. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. And you've been in this business for a lot longer than I have. So, all right, throw the L's up, hit the like button. Thank you very much to everyone who's showed up, donated, super chats, dabbletip.com/Lou. You know what to do. I got to work on that a little bit, but it looks like we're almost there. We're like at the goal line. So we're going to work that ball over into the red zone and spread it wide for you. No, let's not do that. But yes, thank you very much to the wonderful Flimsy Greenberg. God is the executive producer, but Flimsy is kind of the executive producer of this. Dabbletips.com, Dabble Dashboard. I'm sure Shmuel is on babbling about nonsense. So I'll see you over there. All right. Peace, bitches.